Are you tired of being called a pencil neck kid? Do you want to look like Juggernaut from X-Men? Do you wish your neck was as thick, vascular, and strong as mine? Hey guys, this is Coop, and today I'm reviewing the sickest fashion accessory of 2023. No, I'm just kidding. I know, it's kind of surprising. This is actually a neck strengthening device called the Iron Neck. This is the Pro 3.0. I've used and reviewed pretty much all of their previous versions, and I want to show you how it works. This works very similarly to, say, a Reebok pump in the way that it tensions. You put it on your head, and then there's a pump on top. That pump you press for, they call it air fit. It's designed to just suction against your head. There's multiple replaceable foam pads that you can tighten. This neck strap, similar to my bike helmet, I don't like this on my chin strap. You don't have to use it, but it maybe helps. And then what you do is you attach to a cable system. This one is on the Athena. You pull away, suddenly you have tension for 360 degrees rotation. Now let's talk about whether it actually works as good as it looks. Okay, out of every muscle on your body, I would say one of the least trained yet most useful pieces of your body is your neck. You certainly hear about leg days, arm days, but you never hear about neck days. And I think training the neck, not just the traps which the neck sits on, but also the actual neck, can lead to some sick gains in terms of looks, but can also be very beneficial and very useful. If you think about it, what is the position that a majority of us are in constantly? It's this, right? It's on our phones, it's on our computers. So training the neck so that you can have longevity, strength, and also just absolutely vascular gains, I think would be a benefit. And this device, really, that's its whole goal, is to improve that. Now, this is how it works. I showed you how you put it on, I showed you how you attach it, but this is how it actually works in resisting. It uses isometric resistance specifically. Isometric would be like if I was to have chains that attach to the ground, I had a bar attached to it, and I lifted as hard as I could. It didn't move anywhere, but I'm pushing against a static object. That's isometric. The way that it resists is you're pulling against something that resists your neck, and it's a constant weight, and then you rotate. Now, the 3.0 Pro, this is the more expensive version. I'll talk about whether I recommend this one or their much cheaper counterpart. But this one specifically also has additional resistance via this knob. So the additional resistance is not only the pulling away the static that you get from, say, attaching to a band or attaching to a cable stack, but also the rotational resistance by dialing this down and then making it harder to turn away. Now, this review is not a sponsored review in any way. This is going to be an honest, in-depth review. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, everything like that. They did send it so I could do a review. Also, if you'd like to purchase one, you can check it out, the link below the like button. They will pay us a small commission, but won't increase the amount that you pay. There is truly nothing that does what this does. This allows you to train through all 360 degrees of rotation and have resistance within them. That's what makes this unique. It looks absolutely ridiculous. I completely agree.
It looks pretty sick, I know. You'd love to wear this on a date with your wife.
My wife has come out to the garage and watched me using this so many times and taken so many Instagram stories. I think she actually has a highlight on her Instagram that all it is me using this. It's very annoying, but it works, I think, as well as it looks stupid. It does look really stupid, but I really think it does work well. And the reason being, it's training the plane of motion that you actually do when you're moving your neck. Here's the reality. I love the neck harnesses that you lift things off the ground and do different movements like that, but your neck is primarily not used for lifting things, other than maybe a ball cap. It's used for rotating the body. And so for athletes, being able to resist that contact is super beneficial, but I also think it's super helpful just for daily life for people that are stuck in this, sedentary position all the time. So from a performance benefit, I really think it works. Let me talk about the build quality. This is the third version. I would say the second version is actually pretty good quality, not nearly as good as this one. The first version was massive. Actually, I believe the first version was made out of some sort of metal. The third version, I feel like, is a true product. Like the product design and every orientation about it, it's all integrated. It is very well done. It's using a lot of like nylons, plastics, so it's lightweight. Like you may think like, oh, I wish I had a metal version. You don't, because it would be very heavy and would just be really cumbersome. It's actually over 30% lighter than their second version. It's also 20% smaller than their other version while doing all the same stuff. I will say just The overall build quality of this, I think it's really well done for a product that you want to be light. Also, it's very adjustable. It has both vertical crown adjustment, also different pads that are replaceable, very comfortable, as well as this back piece that's a bladder, an air bladder. That's how you blow it up. Very similar to Reebok pump shoe, like I said previously. It allows it to conform and adapt to your head, because neck training is typically very uncomfortable. You have to attach something to your head and then you have to push away. This thing, I would say, is about as comfortable as you can make it. There's still times where it's uncomfortable, where say there's no padding on the sides, and after I've done a ton of reps, it starts to shift a little bit and kind of hurt the side of your head, but after readjusting, it's fine. But overall, the comfortability and build quality is very nice on this piece. Now I want to speak to kind of the pro version versus the regular version. Which one should you get? This is kind of my problem with this piece. The regular version and this version are the exact same, except for this piece right here. Okay, so they do all the exact same thing, same mold. I'm pretty sure they're same colors too. The only difference is this has a dial that increases tension within this rail, whereas the regular version does not. But the price difference between them is almost 200 bucks for a little freaking dial. So honest review, in my opinion, they're just really trying to get people to pay extra for the dial. And I don't think from a margin standpoint on their end, it costs that much more to add this dial. It's a nice dial. I like that it's knurled. I like that it moves well. It's smooth. But I will actually say the variable resistance is actually kind of annoying. And the reason being, it's metal inside of a plastic track. So when you tighten it down, when you start to use it, I'll show you some in B-roll, it doesn't like smoothly rotate. It kind of judders. So, and I've been using this for a while. I've tried spraying like WD-40 and all the different stuff in here to see if it would improve it. It doesn't. It's not the most smoothing rotation. I think it could be benefited if it had a different tensioning system. I don't know what that is. I'm sure they've tried different things. It's kind of hard because you also want it to be light. But the pro version is the one I use, and I do use the variable resistance, but it's far from perfect in terms of how comfortable it is. So here's what I'd say. Here's like my general recommendation. Do I like Iron Neck? I do. I really like Iron Neck. I think it's a really good piece of equipment. I think it's really good for strengthening the neck, but it's also pricey. If you've never done any neck training, I would not recommend just going out and buying this. I would recommend doing some body weight things to try and do some rotation work. Basically, one way that you can do it is lean up against the wall at an angle with your head against the wall and rotate. You're gonna have that constant tension there. It's one way that you can do it. Another way is basically to just do reps with like a plate and a towel on your head, laying on a bench. Those are ways that you can get into some neck training. If you like neck training and want to do more of it, I really like these. The pro version is the best. If you want the creme de la gym option, that's the best. But I think for most people, I would recommend getting their basic version, then on top of that, getting their Iron Neck harness, their cheapest one's like 30 bucks. You're gonna save money, and then you can do both the isometric work with 360 rotation while also being able to do some just weighted lift movements. That's kind of what I would recommend it for. That way it works well. The real difference between that style and something like this that you just can't mimic that easily with something like this is the full rotation. So what I do oftentimes, the way I'll use this is I'll put it on, I'll do it on basically my upper back day. I have a whole day just for upper back. No, I'm just kidding. But when I'm doing upper back, when I'm saying I'm doing trap work, I will attach it and I will do basically 10 rotations this way, go the other way, 10 rotations, and then I'll get it really heavy, walk out and do 360 rotations. And the whole goal is basically to keep my neck in a position that's tight, similar to like a deadlift where I'm trying to stay fully tight. Sounds kind of silly, like, oh, how does that work? Dude, anybody I've had try this and do that kind of movements for the first time, their neck the next day is so sore. Actually, speaking of that, I did a workout with this the day before I went on a flight over to Leko in Sweden. Dude, my neck the next day, it sucked, okay? Like it was not feeling good on the plane, and it's because I did so much direct neck work. So I really recommend direct neck work, and I think this is one of the best ways to do it, but there are cheaper ways out there too. What do you think about the Iron Neck? Is it too goofy to actually train with, or is this something that you've used and would find benefit from? Let me know in the comments. Dude, I know so many like jiu-jitsu friends, people in martial arts that I've recommended this to that absolutely love it and use it all the time. So I'd love to hear what you think of it. Let me know in the comments. This has been Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. I'll see you next time. Peace.